Good morning. Grace and peace, beloved St. Lucas. I pray this day and this devotional finds you well. I have a few words and a prayer. All of it is around Howard Thurman, who is was a powerful theologian, pastor who deeply influenced the life of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And the Reverend Dr. Howard Thurman has influenced so many others too. So I just got this book called Anchored in the Current. It's edited by one of my seminary professors, Dr. Ellison, and I just got it, but I read the conclusion first. I read the last chapter first because this book is a collection of writings about Howard Thurman and his influence on people. And the conclusion is written by one of my dearest professors from seminary, Dr. Smith, Luther Smith, who is a Thurman scholar who spent most of his academic career studying and thinking about Howard Thurman. And so I wanted to share with you a little bit from this conclusion, these wise words from Howard Thurman, and then a prayer for our devotion time. So this is what Dr. Smith first says. Thurman was deeply convicted about the common ground for truth, justice, love, and ultimate meaning. And then he quotes Thurman a little further down, and I want you to hear this deep well of spiritual wisdom from Dr. Thurman. The goal of life is God. The source of life is God. That out of which life comes is that into which life goes. God, out of whom life comes, is God, into whom life goes. God is the goal of human life and the end of all his or her seeking, the meaning of all of his or her striving. God is the grantor of all of his or her values, the ultimate meaning, the timeless frame of reference. It can seem kind of simplistic, but when we think about it more fully, it is deep and so needed to realize that God is the center of all things, of all of us, and of lives we live. God's the creator of all things. And so our lives, in some way, shape, or form, should be centered around that, in relationship with that, in relationship with God. And so this is what's so important to Thurman. Luther later on writes how Thurman wasn't really focused on the differences of beliefs and practices of other denominations. He was a big tent spiritual guide. And so Episcopalians, Pentecostals, Quakers, Presbyterians, Baptists, Methodists, Unitarian, Universalists, Roman Catholics, Buddhists, Muslims, Hindus, agnostics, and many other people of faith acknowledge Thurman as a guide and a source for their being in life. So I wonder for us today, as we begin this day, how do we understand and conceive God? Because that deeply affects how we live our lives. Is our faith God-centered, theocentric? Theo is God. Or is our faith egocentric? Me, around what I want for myself. Thurman's calling us to be people who are theocentric, God-centered. God is the source of all things. God is the goal of life. God is the source of life. And so I wonder how this day you might keep that frame of mind and heart, that God will be the center of your words and your actions. Are they words that are creating, like the Creator has created? Or are they words that are destroying, which is the opposite? Are they words that are mending and healing and comforting, as God mends and heals and comforts? Are they words that are hurting? Are they actions of reconciliation, as God, through Christ, is seeking to reconcile all things? Or are they words that are dividing and pulling people apart? What does it mean for you today to, as Thurman says, recognize God as the goal and the source of life? And then I want to share this prayer from Howard Thurman. Lord, open unto me. Open unto me light for my darkness. Open unto me courage for my fear. Open unto me hope for my despair. Open unto me peace for my turmoil. Open unto me joy for my sorrow. Open unto me strength for my weakness. Open unto me wisdom for my confusion. Open unto me forgiveness for my sins. Open unto me love for my hates. Open unto me thyself for myself. Lord, Lord, open unto me. Grace and peace, my friends.